The fifth-gen training crisis, investigating the M346. Seconds later, everything changed for the future of combat pilot logistics. You see, we're currently witnessing a critical tipping point in military aviation. And honestly, it's one that almost slipped entirely under the radar. Welcome back to Air Flight Space, where we explore aviation events, air safety investigations, industry developments, and the stories shaping our skies. Today, we're taking a closer look at a story attracting major attention in aviation logistics. So what happens when fifth-gen fighters outgrow their pilots? Let's dive into this, because right now, air forces around the world are facing a hidden, highly critical shortage in modern air combat preparation. I mean, they're buying the most advanced fighter jets ever built, but facing a genuinely terrifying reality. Who is actually going to teach the pilots how to fly them? Part 1. A quiet aviation crisis. At first, everything seemed completely normal with global tactical training. For decades, military pipelines just operated smoothly, pushing out highly qualified pilots year after year. But then, something felt unusual. A specific timeline revealed a massive looming vacuum. Look closely at this chronological gap. Back in 2024, the Royal Canadian Air Force retired its venerable BA Systems Hawk trainers. Fast forward to the present day, and we're seeing this aggressive procurement of next-generation aircraft, like the Lockheed Martin F-35A and potentially the Saab Gripen E/F. But here's the catch. The new fleet meant to train pilots for these advanced jets, well, it won't be operational until 2029. That is a massive, multi-year void right when advanced training is needed the absolutely most. And this detail changes everything. With the retirement of those Hawk trainers, Canada suddenly lost its primary pipeline for advanced NATO fighter pilot training. Literally, the historic NATO Fighter Lead and Training program was abruptly closed. To see a cornerstone of international military readiness simply shut down like that, it's completely shocking to aviation investigators and defense analysts alike.
Part 2. First warning signs.
What happened next shocked investigators, as the first warning signs began to emerge from the flight lines trying to fill this massive void. Because, when a major government program shuts down, the demand for training doesn't just magically disappear. Just notice the stark contrast here. On one side, you've got the aircraft currently trying to carry the load at the International Tactical Training Center, modernized Aero Vodacoti L-39s, several aging Hawker Hunter T-7s, and L-29s. But on the other side, you have the hyper-advanced sensor-fused reality of fifth-generation fighters like the F-35A, trying to prepare a pilot for a fifth-generation combat environment using an aircraft designed during the Cold War. That's a dangerous technological mismatch for sure. Wait, this changes everything. The pressure on these aging fleets was really reaching a breaking point. But just as the crisis peaked, a private entity stepped in with a massive, game-changing move that completely altered the landscape of military aviation training.
Part 3. Major reveal.
This is the breakthrough moment that caught defense analysts completely off guard. Nobody expected the solution to come from outside the traditional government procurement machine. 12. That's the number that sent shockwaves through the industry. The privately operated International Test Pilot School, or ITPS, based in Canada, signed a sudden, massive deal for up to 12 advanced jets. We're talking 6 firm orders and options for an additional 6. It was absolutely unprecedented. And the aircraft they chose to single-handedly rescue this dangerous capability gap? The Leonardo M346 Block 20. This Italian-built twin-engine trainer jet is quite frankly an absolute masterpiece of modern aviation engineering. It's not just an airplane, it's practically a flying supercomputer designed specifically to replicate the performance, avionics, and data management of the absolute most advanced fighters in the world. Let's look at the upgrades and see exactly how this builds a next-generation training environment. The Block 20 configuration includes an all-glass cockpit, brand-new helmet-mounted display systems, and highly advanced onboard weapons systems simulators for combat training. Think about what that means. A student pilot can be flying in clear, totally empty skies, but their helmet display is projecting a highly contested, simulated fifth-generation combat environment, complete with enemy radar locks and simulated weapons firing. It's like stepping into the Matrix, but at 30,000 feet. As Stefano Bortoli, the managing director of Leonardo's aeronautics division, points out, this integrated system will allow operators to test pilots with rapidly changing and increasingly challenging operational scenarios. The crucial point here is that they aren't just teaching pilots how to fly an aircraft anymore. No, they're teaching them how to process overwhelming amounts of digital battlefield information while pulling high G-forces. And ITPS Executive Chairman Giorgio Clementi confirmed the immense impact of this deal. He stated these jets will begin operations in 2029, providing a major contribution to overhauling their aging fleet. This private purchase, it's acting as a massive safety net for international combat readiness, buying absolutely crucial time for Western air forces. Part 4. Privatizing air power. But this was only the beginning. As we pull back the layers of this investigation, we uncover the most unusual detail of all, the unprecedented privatization of advanced military air power. With the closure of the NATO program, ITPS's facility up in North Bay, Ontario, is now the only advanced fighter training school left in the entire country of Canada. Let that sink in. A private corporation now holds the literal keys to advanced tactical training in the region. Keep watching because the scale of this reliance is just staggering. Look at who is currently depending on this single, privately run Canadian hub. They have active tactical training programs underway with more than 10 air forces globally. We're talking the Royal Canadian Air Force, the Royal Netherlands Air Force, the Belgian Air Component, the Australian Defence Force, and various NATO members. The global military apparatus is actively depending on a private school to prepare their next generation of combat aviators. And hey, it's not just governments either. Major aerospace manufacturers are procuring these exact same training services to test their own systems. Airbus, Korea Aerospace Industries, Leonardo themselves, and Turkish Aerospace are all corporate clients. This massive shift toward privatized advanced simulation is incredibly significant, and it's about to impact the largest military on Earth. Part 5. Escalation and Impact. But the situation was far from over. The ripple effects are now crossing borders and sparking a massive procurement war. The new target for the M346? The United States Navy. That's right. Leonardo isn't just stopping with private test pilot schools in Canada. They're aggressively pursuing one of the most lucrative and critical military contracts in the entire world. Right now, the U.S. Navy is desperately seeking a new trainer jet for its undergraduate jet training system contract. They need to replace their aged, completely fatigued fleet of Boeing T-45 Ghost Hawks. So to win this high-stakes competition, Leonardo has teamed up with American manufacturer Textron to aggressively pitch an Americanized version of the Block 20, which is officially dubbed the Beechcraft M346N. And just look at the strategic industrial chess game being played here. Textron, acting as the prime contractor for the bid, announced they will assemble the M346N jets directly at their main industrial campus in Wichita, Kansas. By promising to build these advanced trainers right on American soil, utilizing American workers, they are positioning this aircraft as the ultimate, inescapable solution for Western air forces. So what can we actually learn from this story? This entire investigation leads us to a singular, vital question. Looking at the retired Hawks, the aging L-39s, the massive private investment by ITPS, and the looming U.S. Navy contract, what does this actually tell us about the future of aviation logistics? Well, the undeniable truth is this. Fifth-generation dominance requires fifth-generation training. Buying the world's most advanced, stealthy, sensor-fused fighters means absolutely nothing if you don't have the right simulated cockpits to train the pilots who will actually fly them. The Leonardo M346 Block 20 represents the critical and perhaps the only bridge between the aircraft of yesterday and the combat realities of tomorrow. Because as private corporations increasingly hold the keys to how our military fights, we have to ask ourselves, who really controls the future of air superiority? Thanks for watching Air Flight Space. If you found this video informative, leave a like. Subscribe for more aviation investigations and stories. Share your thoughts below. I regularly read and interact with the community. See you in the next video.